Hi all. Now we are going to see about the bones that form the neck. So these are the cervical vertebra. Totally there are 7 cervical vertebra. Of the 7 cervical vertebra, the first, second and the 7th, they show some atypical features and are called atypical cervical vertebra. Now we'll start with the typical cervical vertebra. The one that you see here is a typical cervical vertebra. Parts of any vertebra are the body. Behind the body you see the vertebral foramen. Okay, this is the lamina. Okay, where the lamina meet you have the spinous process. Okay, this stalk connecting the body to the lamina, that's called the pedicle. At the pediculo-lamina junction you see the superior articular process, the inferior articular process, okay, and the transverse process. Yeah, that's the transverse process. Okay, this is the superior articular process and the inferior articular process. Now coming to the typical features of a cervical vertebra, the body as you see here is horizontally transverse, horizontal oval. Okay, it is a oval or transversely oval body. Behind the body, that's the vertebral foramen, it's large and triangular because it is going to accommodate the cervical enlargement of the spinal cord, that's going to give rise to the cervical plexus. Now the transverse process you see here, you can see a foramen in the transverse process, that's the foramen transversarium. This foramen transversarium is bounded anteriorly by the anterior root, the anterior tubercle, and then the costiotransverse bar, posterior tubercle and posterior root. I'll tell it again. So this is the transverse process with the opening of foramen called the foramen transversarium. The boundaries of the foramen transversarium, here that's the anterior root which ends in an anterior tubercle. Behind, that's the posterior root which ends in a posterior tubercle. Between the anterior tubercle and the posterior tubercle, this is the costiotransverse bar. Okay. Now the superior articular process, it has a facet which is directed upward and backward, whereas the inferior articular facet, it has a you can see this one, that's the facet on the inferior articular process that is directed forward and downward. Okay. The lamina I told you is thin and flat. Where both the lamina meet, we have the spinous process. The spinous process is actually short and bifid. Bifid is very characteristic of your cervical vertebra. Now coming to the atypical cervical vertebra, this is your 7th cervical vertebra. The spine of the 7th cervical vertebra is quite long, therefore it is called vertebra prominens. This is your first cervical vertebra, the atlas. This is the 2nd cervical vertebra, axis. Okay, so they articulate like that. The first cervical vertebra or the atlas, as you see, it has no body, no spine. Anteriorly it presents an anterior arch, short anterior arch that presents an anterior tubercle. This is a posterior view. What you see here is the posterior arch. The posterior arch is quite long. Okay, this is a small tubercle on the posterior arch in the midline that will give attachment to your ligamentum nuchae. Now the anterior and the posterior arch are connected by lateral mass. What you see here, that is called the lateral mass. The lateral mass, it bears a facet superiorly and inferiorly. The superior articular facet, as you see here, is kidney shaped and deeply concave. Okay, this upper articular facet of the atlas is going to articulate with the occipital condyle. You see here, this is the foramen magnum, this is the occipital condyle. It's going to articulate with that. To form the atlanto-occipital joint, okay, superior articular facet of the lateral mass. And then this is the inferior articular facet that's going to articulate with the atlas to form the lateral atlantoaxial joint. Okay. Now, here on the anterior arch inner aspect you can see a facet that's going to articulate with the upward projection of the axis called the odontoid process to form the median atlantoaxial joint, which is a pivot joint. Okay. And now coming to the transverse process. Yeah, the transverse process of the first cervical vertebra you see here. Interestingly, it doesn't have an anterior root and an anterior tubercle. What you see here is the costo-transverse part, the posterior tubercle and the posterior root. Okay. The transverse process of the first cervical vertebra, the atlas vertebra, doesn't have an anterior root and anterior tubercle. It will have a costo-transverse part, posterior tubercle and posterior root. So, to summarize about the atlas vertebra, there is no body, no spine. It will have a short anterior arch with a tubercle and a facet on the inner aspect and a long posterior arch. Okay. Then the lateral mass with the upper kidney shaped facet to articulate with the occipital condyle to form the atlanto-occipital joint. The anterior facets are more on a kidney shaped and deeply concave. These are the inferior articular facets which are going to articulate with the atlas to form with the axis to form the lateral atlantoaxial joint. The foramen transversarium with the costo-transverse part, posterior tubercle and posterior root. Yeah, this is your second cervical vertebra. The second cervical vertebra. From the body you can see an upward projection that's called the odontoid process or dens, D-E-N-S, dens. Okay. Then from the sides of the body you see the superior articular facets. Okay. The superior articular facets are on a more anterior plane. They are going to articulate with your atlas. They also overhang your, cover your transverse process. Then this is the pedicle. Yeah, they sort of overlay your pedicle, cover the pedicle. The lamina, that's the lamina, and where the two lamina meet you have the spine. The spine of the second cervical vertebra is very massive bifid. It's massive because it's going to give attachment not only to ligament nuchae but also to 5 pairs of muscles. Okay. Yeah. These are the inferior articular facets. The inferior articular facets of the axis are on a more posterior plane than the superior articular facets. To summarize, the typical features of a cervical vertebra are body which is transversely oval, vertebral foramen which is large and triangular, the transverse process with a foramen here, the transverse process with the foramen, okay, it's called the foramen transversarium. The foramen transversarium of all the typical cervical vertebra, they are going to transmit the second part of vertebral artery. Okay. This vertebral artery arises in the neck, it passes through the foramen transversarium of the typical cervical vertebra and then it finally enters the cranial cavity through foramen magnum. Okay. So, then the spinous process is bifid. Superior articular facets are facing upward and backward, inferior articular facets facing forward and downward. The superior vertebral notch which is above the pedicle and the inferior vertebral notch below the pedicle, they are of equal size. The superior vertebral notch will transmit the corresponding cervical spinal nerve. I will repeat it again. To summarize, the features of a typical cervical vertebra. The body is transversely oval. On the upper margin of the body, the lateral aspect you can see raised process called the uncal, UNCAL, uncal process. Okay, and then the foramen transversarium, the transverse process which presents a foramen. Okay, in all the typical cervical vertebra to transmit the second part of vertebral artery, and then the spine that is bifid, the superior articular facet facing backward and upward, the inferior articular facet facing forward and downward.